golden bow, just like Apollo and Diana's.
Malleolus isn't receiving visit. What?
What is it? All right?
We're finally alone. Is that you broke it? Well, it seems, look, it's unfortunate, but now, I assume... You mean to ask, why am I unwilling to trust a newly... I'm sorry, but... Yes, our water supply. From you. I wasn't born yesterday. Aeneas the Tactician wrote a siegecraft manual for military commanders some 3, and I'm beginning to wonder if the culprit we're looking for might, after all... I doubt that very much, since I'll be keeping the key around my neck at all. Ask then. Good. Of course. Well, allow me to explain. When I discovered the crux of it is this. If you do anything to change the to illustrate, the same thing would happen if either, so the... Excellent. It looks like you'll have to continue. Of course. Why? It looks...
Whatever are you wearing?
A new face. It must be complete. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Galerius, the challenger. Why do you ask? As I said... very well. Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helva. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Dacius.
Sentius.
Virgil.
Sentius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
Sentius.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Sextus Sentius Imperiosus.
My fellow citizens, you've placed your trust in me once again, and you won't regret it. I vow that each day henceforth will be just like this one, and I will deliver.
You and your rival, whatever your name is, you're responsible for this, aren't you? Nobody likes Caput Murdae foreigners interfering in an election.
Shut up and let the magistrate speak.
Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day.
You have no idea what you're doing. You're going to get us all killed.
Just stay out of our way, and we won't have a problem.
Wait, I will not allow you to do this.
You're showing your true colors now, priestess. Your corruption sickens me. Domitius, ignore her. Proceed.
This is insanity. You'll doom us all.
Lies. It is time the Golden Rule was exposed for what it is. A children's fable, exploited by a treacherous leader to instill fear in all of us.
The Golden Rule is real, you idiot.
Shut up, all of you. The magistrate has spoken. I'm going to enjoy killing you, old man.
Son of a...
Many shall suffer the sins of the one.
Everybody hide!
Salve, friend. Mind telling me... Oh, so... Julia. Poor Virgil. Alright, let me... What? I'll go...
The 49 melodies fetch again with incessant.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
Lucretia, no time to explain.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside.
What? Quick, give it here. I'm just going to help her swallow this. I think she's going to be all right. Galerius, you're amazing. How did you know?
I was just doing what the new guy told me.
I don't understand. How did... Never mind. Thank you so much for another moment.
Message from Malleolus.
Yeah? Who's it from?
The Emperor. He knows Malleolus's real name is Quinctius, thanks to Claudia, and demands he withdraw from the election and release Ulpius and Iulia immediately.
Are you out of your mind, farm boy?
Domidius, that's enough.
What? You're not going to listen to this dolt, are you?
Galerius, all right, I'll withdraw, and Ulpius and Julia are free. I trust our business is concluded.
Yes, that ought to do it. I guess I'll go and tell Ulpius the good news then.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
Welcome.
Iulia! I'm so glad you didn't go through with it.
It wasn't for lack of trying. And now Malleolus is going to... Wait. Why do you look so happy?
We're free. Malleolus just released us and we never have to set foot in that villa again.
What? How?
Galerius arranged it somehow.
Really? That's... incredible.
Welcome.
Oh, what a relief. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything.
Shiny.
Just rest up. Get your strength back.
Well, thank you.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside.
Don't believe a word they tell you.
Citizen,
Sorry, was there something you wanted? Or
Priestess, Malleolus has decided to withdraw from the election.
Oh, well, that's surprising. But thank you for telling me. I'll let everyone know. Citizens, I have an announcement. Malleolus has withdrawn his candidacy from today's election. Unless any new
A
challengers
golden
are
rule,
nominated by
just like
nightfall,
Apollo and
Sentius
Diana's.
will be re-elected magistrate by default.
Actually, I'd like to nominate myself, if that's all right.
Of course, Galerius, that's your right. Citizens, the election will proceed.
Salve again, friend. How is it possible that you've just... You're a Sisyphus. Yeah. Oh. That's... Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Although... Oh, and if our conversations... Salve... Now. I've bounced the... But... He did? Oh. That was... I'll let Equit... All right.
A new fate. It must be. It'll be. Why do you. As I. Very. It is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate. Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helva. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Dacius.
Sentius.
Virgil.
The man who put a stop to the threats I've been receiving. Galerius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
The man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helva.
What?
It has been decided. Magistrate Galerius, would you like to make a brief address?
I just want to say, this isn't something I ever wanted. Now that you've put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down. I'll need some time to put together a list of the changes I want to make around here. But I promise you, there will be changes. My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need to say please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
We're finally alone. Is that look now. Nothing really. It won't be long, but I dare say it won't affect me in the slightest. Thank you.
Your release.
You're going to let me out of here?
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend. And it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer. So be sure to offer your thanks when you can.
I will. I will. Thank you, Galerius. I'm so happy.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Why don't you go to the baths? Then tell Georgius I said you could have some new clothes. Then I want you to go home and rest. I'll speak with you soon, Dooley.
Hello? Oh, thank you. You're a big helper. You can have my and maybe you can help me find my friend Hannibal used to look after me. But before that, he gave me a key to the cisterns. Please help me find it. Oh, thank you. Hope you find it. Oh, look. Maybe it is treasure. I could see it for myself. So pretty. And it's just lying out here in the open. Maybe nobody wants it anymore. Maybe no one will mind if I just take it.
Don't you dare.
Suffer the sins of the
Finish the job. Go on.
All right.
I'll...
On your best behavior, I trust?
Salve, Rufus. I hear your rheumatism has you so riled up you've been harassing Virgil.
You? Who are you? Did he send you? Thank you, know you're here. You have to help me escape before that monster comes back. I'm Scintilla. I found a way out through the Gate of Horn, but it's locked. So I told him about it, and instead of helping me escape, he locked me up. He wants to keep us all here forever, or until we're turned to gold. He's a monster. You have to let me go so we can kill him and take his key. Sentius, my adoptive father. Furies help me. I'll castrate and crucify him. I don't know. He said the gods are on his side because they don't want us to escape either. Behind me, there's an aqueduct tunnel bringing water from outside the city, so it should lead us outside. The only problem is it's barred by a heavy locked gate, and he has the only key. I'm going to take that key from around his neck, even if it means cutting his throat to get it. I'm done caring about the Golden Rule. I just want out. Help me, and we can escape together. There won't be enough time. Just you and me. What do you say? There's no time. Wait, did you hear that? He's here. Quick, you have to let me go. It's now or never. Thank you. Now follow... Wait. Did you hear that? He's here. He must be coming in through the door behind me. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she? So that is how it's going to be. Oh well. This doesn't change anything for me. It's a shame, really. If you'd just done what you were supposed to, you'd have been looping through time forever until you gave up and killed yourself, just like that soft-hearted pleb, Al. Come now. Surely you didn't think you were the only one here who remembered everything. You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memories from one loop to the next. Whether that was Proserpina's intention or a happy accident, I'll never know. But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you're a little bit sharper than Al was. Or perhaps you're just more willing to break the rules. He was a moralistic fellow, never once compromised on his principles. And because of that fatal flaw, he relived this day many thousands of times before we finally had this conversation. I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older, a little more disheveled, a little more haunted. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him. He drank a jug of wine, tied a noose around his neck, and took his own life, just before he was shot with a golden arrow. The next time I awoke, you showed up, but you've caught up to where he was so quickly. I'd have preferred if you'd given me more time to enjoy the trappings of my success. How many extra days did you give me? Almost 15? I should be grateful for your stupidity. In any case, there's no escape for you except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about on his tablet. What was it? Ah, yes. Better to end it all now than find out what awaits you beyond that portal. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it? Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this. My title, my beautiful villa, the sun on my face, the music of birds chirping. And as long as this day keeps repeating itself, I get to enjoy it all, over and over again, for eternity. Don't you see? I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely, to cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself? Of course. There's no way you could have succeeded. Every soul who has ever found themselves here has broken the golden rule eventually. It is inevitable. Man will always sin sooner or later. Any idiot could tell you this. But where others might see tragedy, I saw opportunity. As I told you the first time we met, I found a way to cheat death. By reliving the same day over and over again forever. And I will continue living long after your dust. Do you really think you can take on a Decurion with that flimsy little bow? Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father. Come on, we have to go. Hey, what's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. Well, here I am. Really? That's strange. I was just reading an old tablet I found here. Well, trying. My Latin is kinda rusty, but the last entry mentioned someone with the same name. It described an event about 2,000 years ago. Someone with your name appeared in the city out of the shrine of Proserpina. Freed an imprisoned woman named Scintilla, who then murdered her captor, breaking some kind of ancient law. It said the attack caused golden statues to come alive, hunting down everyone in the city and turning them into gold. Apparently, the only person to survive was Scintilla, while the stranger disappeared in a flash of light. What? You're let me see that. God, why does this writing look so familiar? I've spent a lifetime in this place going... This is... So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years ago is dead, he never created a time portal, so I never went through it. I guess you saved my life then. Maybe we can escape through the same aqueduct Scintilla used, if we can find it. I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple. You go on ahead.
You're back! But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al? Ah, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But that most people find comfort in familiarity. That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the You can just call me That you died. Usually, most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly. As you wish. You were murdered. You were on a mission to recover a collection of stolen relics. You succeeded. But as a passing motorist saw you being pursued and offered to you a ride, there was nothing you or your ally could. He died instantly at the scene. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Charon's Opal by some. Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouth. Well, those stories contained a long time ago, my master created 1,000. My orders were simple. Whenever a person... That is a question you would have to ask him. I am just his servant. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now! Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. And there was a tablet describing an event 2,000 years ago. Supposedly, the city was destroyed when a woman murdered a tyrant with the help of, well, my new friend here. I know how crazy that sounds.
Maybe not that crazy. That woman. I don't suppose her name was... Scintilla?
How could you... What?
She left a tablet of her own. I stumbled across it while I was waiting here. I think she meant for you to read it. Here, take a look.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but I want you to know that I will never forget you, or what you did for me. It pains me that so many dear friends were not so fortunate. Ulpius, Sentia, Lucretia, Horatius, Galerius, poor Dooley, and the others. But please...
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. I'd love to hear your story, but first... You two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You're unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will. My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know? It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey. My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords: desire, joy, ecstasy. No. Long ago I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that. This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal. Your gaze lingers too long. That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutubal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions. As you wish. It has come to be known simply as the Underworld, and it exists because of a wager I made long ago. That is a long story. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind You all but destroyed yourselves. Your too short life. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention, and so we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on her kind. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind, and so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation and then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter. It was and is my hope that once there, we might... But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting. There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names. Our leader Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Proserpina. As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as, of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, after another 1,000 years the Greeks began to arrive. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundation. To ensure the wage was fair, it was important. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's Obol. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. Your kind will have squandered the last of its potential. It is a regrettable story. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning, and in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth. Of course, that is merely the name your people have given to it. That is a story dating back to the very first wave, after the Sumerians finished. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman draped herself in jewelry. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew and she prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival, but I was watching. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted, so I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness. I give your kind a second chance at life, and when you disobey, and you always disobey, and so you ask, if you destroy yourselves. When my kin departed, they left behind many relics. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality, no attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of... This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not? Enough. You clearly know nothing. I'm able to commune with all of the statues, and if she was still conscious, I suppose she could. Then what an odd... Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations? I've seen no such thing, but in any case, taking one's own life is a self-directed act. Therefore, it cannot be said that one who commits suicide has done anything unto others. Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities. Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want? Then your desire to be right outweighs. You will make a fine. Do you really think you can wound me, a god, with that primitive weapon? How dare you threaten her?
The many shall suffer the sins of the one.
midwife in the palace, yeah? The rule is do unto others, meaning other people. They are forsaken. Now tell me, you speak of the moneylender, and he would never have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. Ignoring your irritating sense of moral superiority, this is... I see, and how... I fail to see how your system of loans is significantly different to a debt bondsman's son. Now tell me. Ah, the tavern keeper. I disagree. Having watched that tavern keeper, that is precisely what she would expect from others. She would view it. Applying this rule always requires speculation to some degree. Not if we're wise enough to know the mind of man. Supposing you're right. Now tell me. The merchant. I disagree. Applying this rule all... Now, do you honestly think you... I should strike you down for that. Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning? Very well. Good. Then now it is time for your reckoning. Only, it seems, something is wrong. It has long been within my power to see into the hearts of mortals and weigh their deeds in life. But when I peer into you, I see only a blank slate, as if you did not exist until you appeared in this city. How is this possible? Charon, where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come here? If that is true, then I sense the intervention of someone powerful.
How did you come to be in this time, mortal? Who brought you here?
He cannot know.
I do not know. My kin departed long ago, and Proserpine has slumbered for 3,000 years. Tread lightly, mortal. Enough of this. It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now. But answer this. Why have you come here? What is it you seek? Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed arguments, you face death here. So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called Golden Rule? That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it? I am well aware of the story told by the Greeks and Romans of my so-called abduction. It is entirely unfair. My love was done. It was an act of rebellion against the others. She knew I would have to act to save her. Accordingly, I reject your argument. These people were all dead when my servant found them. Accordingly, Every one of those people was guilty of failing. They failed collectively, and so they were punished collectively. The Romans understand this. Ah, but I'm a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my own kind? You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal. Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated? Do you care for their well-being as you would your fellow man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them rights? Of course not, because that would be absurd, just as it would be absurd for me to treat your kind as equals. My love for her does not mean I am not superior, now that she is mortal. Where to begin? In which time we accumulate vast wisdom. Because that is the source of our power over you. You could say that. My kin have no superiors. I suppose there is a hierarchy among my kin, with Jupiter at the top. Make your point, mortal. Let me ponder that for a moment. If you are right, then it would follow that all this time I have been in the wrong. But no, the very thought of it grieves me. How can I accept your argument, when doing so would make me a tyrant and a monster? Your hubris grows tiresome. You will make a fine statue. Do you really think you can...
Many shall suffer for the sins of the
Ixion turns.
On your best behavior, I trust?
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. No girl, but the one, and what that they were first. I would recognize that anywhere, and yet my beloved still wears hers. What is this? How did you come by it? You vile, despicable creature. Why would you do such a thing? And worse still, boast about it. You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium humiliated and alone. Perhaps you are cleverer than you appear, mortal. I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your treachery and savagery have opened my eyes like nothing I have witnessed in 3,000 years. And now you have shown me your species' true colors. And I see that Proserpine was a fool to have ever believed in you at all. This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this, if I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend. Because despicable creatures like you have no place there. The best I can do is I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready? You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
Oh. Hi there. Well. No. I don't know, it reads like... Anyway,
You're back! But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al? Ah, what a relief. Why don't you tell me what you discovered?
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Charon if I do not. That most people find comfort in familiarity. That you died, of course. My rule. You can just. A wise decision. Perhaps. I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now! Al! It's so good to see you.
Kinda lost track of time in there. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who...
Sounds like quite a story. You two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in?
Sounds good to me.
And you?
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I hope you're adjusting to life as a civilian. I hear it takes a long time. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you, why don't you head on down there?
You're finally here. Remember me? It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Charon appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life. I know! I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there. Oh, I used Charon's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
Oh, hello.
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you. So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable. Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself. Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside, with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and we're just so thankful for what you did for us. See you at the wedding, I hope.
Hello, I'm Dooley. Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me. Bye-bye.
Hi there.
You're the Oracle, right? Oh, of course, sorry. And I never got a chance, and of course... Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but... Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude? Thank you. Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich, even in your time. Apparently he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class Nigeria? Some people have all the luck. Really? Huh. I feel better already. Thank you. You too! If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there. I hope so.
You are here. Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in as you. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'm studying to get into medical school. As when it ended, I realized you too.
Hey. Hi there, I'm Horatius. I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life. I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. The world's changed a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe? Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking. The ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides. Ah, you remembered that. In the words of Epictetus, thank. He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC. So he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. But his luck finally ran out, and his life along with it. You're not wrong. And you.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming. Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I'm not sure if you heard, but she knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. But he's been dealt with. He's... anything I want. I'm a woman of me. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me. He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. You too. See you around.
I take it you're the Oracle everybody's talking about. We have. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century, and it seems I have your Catabasis to thank for it. I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again. My sincere thanks.
Hello.
Greetings. You must be the legendary Oracle. I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades. I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2000 years. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won. You too, my friend.
You're the one we've been waiting for. I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I'm just so happy to be here. Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so mostly that means baking for my... Oh.
Some soiree, innit? Ah, hello at last. You must be the Oracle I've heard so much about. I'm Dacius. Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Most gracious. I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice. You being the Oracle and Future Seer and all that, I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and art. Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. Of course, don't let me...
Good evening.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you. I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him. Thank you. And you. Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us. Wonderful.
Greetings. Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while. And you.
What is up? It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle. You know my name? Oh, of course. You are an Oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place. For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Indeed. Thank you, Oracle.
Hello there. Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. You didn't hear? My adoptive father, Sentius, locked me up in the upper cistern to stop me from escaping. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released. Don't worry. I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. You can try some of our very own wine. Thanks.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius. I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to say the way you just showed up out of the blue. I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. Every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So we're living each day to the fullest, sitting together on our terrace with a glass, and I thank you. You too.
It's so nice to finally meet you. I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there, and for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was you natives of the 21st. You too, if you're ever in the Netherlands.
Nice to meet you. I go by Rufus now. New start for what you did. Sorry, I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very... haven't decided what. You too.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina. Former... I wanted to meet you in person. I hate to think what would... Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. She wouldn't say what it was. I don't know what happened to him. I did. I may have given up my immortality. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over... So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. Indeed. Suffice it to say that while I was able to control their tongues, I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. And you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Good, because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
And I've been watching you with and what is more, you carry a weapon that they will Good. Oh, it is when Charon, where did you find this one? That would explain why you would have me believe that all the... Then she's chosen put. You will make a... Do you really think...
The many shall suffer eternal torment. You vile, despicable creature!